Meeting of the Rochester Regional Board of Review. This hearing is being held via teleconference call, WebEx, at the following location: Greasetown Hall, Community Room A and B, 1 Vince Toffany Boulevard, Rochester, New York, 14612. The time is 9:04, and this hearing is officially open. The members of the board are joining us remotely: Mark Kavanaugh and Andy Ellis, and to my left, John Limbeck, and to my right, Craig Jensen. My name is Rick Pappage, acting chairman. From the Department of State is Dan Farley, Christopher Jensen, and Hendricks Schenk. We will now hear the scheduled petitions. When you speak, please address the board and give your name, title, and legal address so that our court reporter can have all that information requested and recorded. We may have to stop from time to time to consult with our technical staff. In making comments to the board, please provide a descriptive narrative on matters referring to your exhibits to enable the court reporter to enter those into record. The first hearing. This hearing is in the matter of petition number 2024-0004. The petitioner is BH Architecture. Nature of the grievance and relief sought. The petition pertains to the construction of a distilled spirits storage building, hazardous occupancy H-3, where class 1, 2, or 3A flammable or combustible liquids that are used or stored in normally closed containers or systems pressurized at 15 pounds per square inch gauge, 103.4 kilopascals or less. The building is classified as a type 2B construction, non-combustible, unprotected. It is a single story or 21 feet and 2 inches in height, containing 30,200 square feet of total gross area, equipped throughout with an automatic sprinkler system known as the McGuire Cold Storage Building, located at 1525 Lyle Avenue, City of Rochester, County of Monroe, State of New York. The petitioner is seeking relief from 19 New York CRR Part 1221, the Building Code of New York State, Section 307.5, which lists the nature and use of buildings designated as an H-3 occupancy classification. The petitioner requests relief from 307.5 for the building designated for bulk storage of beverages over 16% in alcohol content in normally closed containers. In addition to the exhibits provided this board, we understand the petitioner will enter a presentation into the record. The petitioner can explain their case now.
Good morning, Barbara. This is Brad Humberstone. I'm presenting. Did you get the email I sent you for the presentation?
I did. Are you ready?
I'm ready when you are.
All right.
Yes.
1 sec. Right, here it comes.
All right, can you go to the next slide, please?
Mm-hmm.
Start my introduction. All right, good morning. My name is Brad Humberstone. I'm the Director of Architecture, Project Architect, BH Architecture. And I'm representing Mitchell Design Build as the contractor for the job. With me today is Tyler Tamblin, Senior Fire Protection Engineer with Rand Fire Protection. He'll be conducting this kind of a second portion of the presentation, assisting me today.
Could you include your address?
Address, yep, I heard that. Yes, my address is 1520 Whitney Road, East, Fairport, New York, 14450. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so quick project overview. This is the Black Button Distillery and Rick House, located at Lyle Avenue, the former Valio building, Valio campus. It is a 3,000 square foot, single-story slab-on-grade, cold storage, freestanding, uninsulated, pre-engineered metal building. 30,000 square feet, yes, 30,000 square feet with a 200 square foot enclosed loading dock shelter on one end. So technically 30,200 square feet. This building was constructed as a rick house, which is industry term for storage of barrels of distilled spirits. As I said, it's a pre-engineered metal building. The building is access controlled. It is locked at all times, and it is only entered by facility personnel, employees. Not open to the public, nothing of that nature. Next slide, please. So why are we here? We are here to request a variance for our building to be classified as a Group S1 moderate hazard storage rather than a Group H3 high hazard storage. We are also here to clarify using fire sprinkler protection criteria from the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States, better known as DISCUS, in lieu of fire sprinkler protection criteria outlined in Chapter 40 of the 2024 IFC, which my colleague Tyler will elaborate on shortly. Next slide, please. So the reason we're requesting this variance is because there's a path of logic and confusion from the current 2020 Building Code and Fire Code of New York State. In the 2020 Building Code of New York State, this building simply is classified as an H3 storage of combustible products. In the 2020 Fire Code of New York State, there is a section which has an exemption which allows the storage of distilled spirits in wood barrels and casks to be classified as a non-hazardous material. So the exemption excludes it from being classified as hazardous. This directly contradicts what the building code doesn't really even talk about. So in looking at subsequent ICC code sections and code versions, the ICC 2021 and the 2024, which I understand New York State has not adopted yet, they have since coordinated this language and cleaned it up because there was there was missing communication between the fire code and the building code. Next slide, please. The 2021 IBC has a specific section in the S1 moderate hazard occupancy. Section 311.2 specifically says storage of beverages over 16% alcohol can be classified as an S1. That was not present in the 2020 New York State Building Code, which is derived from the 2018 International Building Code. As part of that, the 2021 International Building Code and the 2024 International Building Code and Fire Code have included a new chapter, Chapter 40, which outlines specific requirements for storage of distilled spirits and wines, which include provisions for things like fire protection, spill control, ventilation, things of that nature, just more specific to the actual use which is being conducted in this facility. Next slide, please. This is an example of the proposed arrangement of our facility.
I've got that squared away.
These are multi-row racks of wooden barrels on their side, stored on top of powder-coated steel racks. The barrels are stored on top of each other. They're stacked. Now, due to the ceiling height, which is 22 feet of the building, the storage height is physically restricted to 5 barrels high. That was the intention all along. Not going any higher than that. And this is important for Tyler's portion of the presentation, again, which he'll elaborate on very shortly. So in conclusion, for the variance request for the change in occupancy from H3 to an S1, the 2020 Fire Code of New York State says that this is not a hazardous material due to how it is stored in wooden barrels and casks. The 2020 Building Code of New York State, there is no language that acknowledges the way that this is stored. And in subsequent 2021 and 2024, IBC and IFC specifically call this use as an S1 storage occupancy, which is what we're trying to get this classified as today. Thank you.
This is Tyler Tamblin with Rayan Fire Protection Engineering. Business address 3495 Winton Place, Building E, Suite 250, Rochester, New York. So the other aspect of this hearing today that we wanted to bring up was the use of sprinkler protection design criteria. As outlined in the ISC Chapter 40, which Brad mentioned for the use of storage of distilled spirits, it's an all-encompassing design criteria for storage up to, ceiling heights up to 40 feet and storage up to 33 feet. Can you go to the next slide, please? Which, as Brad mentioned, we're physically restricted in this facility to a 22-foot ceiling height, which means we cannot go higher than 5 barrels high. This design criteria developed in the IC Chapter 40 was used from FM Global testing. And what we're looking to do here is provide a design criteria that's more appropriate for the storage in this facility using a performance-based design approach rather than a cookbook code approach. Next slide, please. So we are permitted to do this from the Building Code New York State, Section 104.3. Permits the use of alternative design methods without waiving the requirements or the intent of the code. And that's exactly what we plan on doing. Is we're not trying to waive the requirement for a sprinkler system. We're just trying to provide a design of a sprinkler system that's more appropriate to this facility. Next slide, please. So we had developed 2 data points to develop that design criteria. The first being the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States, which is a nationally recognized entity that does their own testing for storage facilities, just like the one that we have. The design criteria there for our facility being 5 barrels high would be 0.3 GPM per square foot over 4,000 square feet. Next slide, please. And the other data point is from major international insurers, something comparable to FM Global, who also does their own testing. That is AXA XL. Their testing results also resulted in design criteria of 0.3 GPM per square foot over 4,000 square feet. Next slide, please. So our intent is to use these two nationally recognized entities to develop a performance-based sprinkler design criteria that better fits our facility rather than an all-encompassing design criteria that's identified in Chapter 40 of the ISC. So since we are physically restricted in storage height, we have 5 barrels high and we cannot go higher than that. We propose using the design criteria of 0.3 GPM per square foot over 4,000 square feet. Next slide, please. And this is just a summary slide, just to leave up on the screen that just summarizes what we've gone through today. So we can leave that up. If there are any questions, please let us know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. We'll now turn it over to questions from the board or any other folks. And when you do offer a question, please state your name for the record.
This is John Limbeck. I'd just like to hear from the city of Rochester, see what you guys feel about this switch.
Good morning. My name is Cosmic Reed. I'm with the city of Rochester. Address is 30 Church Street, room 121B. So initially we had issued the building permit with the understanding that the building classification would have been an S1. Based on our review from a sprinkler standpoint, based on the use, the use was just presented as it being a cold storage warehouse, not knowing that alcohol was going to be part of the use. So we reviewed it, issued the permit on that basis. When Brad reached out to us about the change, we basically said, well, from the city's standpoint, we can't look into the future and saying that the state is going to adopt what Brad and Tyler had mentioned in terms of the code specs. So we decided that it's best if the state make the decision, because you guys have an idea as to what's coming forth and if it would be acceptable for you guys. So at this point, from a city standpoint, whatever the state decide, that's what we'd adhere to. Okay, and that's all I have.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
This is Mark Kavanaugh. I got a couple questions, if I may. They're probably going to be for Tyler to answer. So Tyler, if you come up to the podium, that would be helpful. The first question I have, and I'm trying to understand, is the classification of the risk, right? So are these flammable liquids? And if so, what classes are they?
So they're distilled spirits, so they would fall under 1, 2, and 3 combustible liquids.
Combustible liquids, not flammable. Correct?
Correct.
So flash points higher than 100 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yes.
And what's the total volume that we're talking about in your proposed storage?
That number we do not have in front of us today.
I'm just trying, again, understand, are we looking at hundreds of gallons, thousands of gallons?
Yeah, thousands of gallons probably estimating. And the storage may vary. As far as I know, the operations of it'll be phased in with multiple sets of barrels. So it may not be all at once. And then after a certain time, they will take barrels out. So it's not a consistent volume that would be in there. I think it would be ever changing.
Right, understand, thank you. And then the storage configuration you talked, it's going to be multi-row with storage heights up to, I thought I read 14 feet. Are you going higher than 14 feet or is that 5 barrels high? I don't know how high 5 barrels are.
That's correct. 14 feet, 5 barrels high. And based on the construction of the roof and the height, we cannot physically go higher than that.
Okay. And then, let's just for a minute put aside the code issues and help us understand why we should treat your spirits differently than storage of combustible liquids and thousands of gallons of combustible liquids?
I would refer back to the code, as the code recognizes it as something separate from a hazardous material. It's in the newer codes, it has built out a section to specifically address this as something different than Chapter 50 hazardous materials.
Okay, so then help me understand that, you know, how the code process that allowed this to happen. So I heard that, you know, there were studies done by DISC and FM. Were there any studies performed by the NFPA Research Foundation or the Society of Fire Protection Engineers to support this?
Not that we're aware of.
Okay. And you said that DISC and Factory Mutual were nationally recognized testing facilities?
That's actually Discus and AXA XL, and yes, they both are.
And the other question I had, I think, I thought I read somewhere that maybe it was in chapter 40 of the current code, that the most recent version of the ICC, were they designing the 50 sprinklers with a K of 11.2 at 7 PSI? Are you aware of that? Is that what chapter 40 was calling out for? And you guys are proposing to do 0.3 over 4,000?
I do not know off the top of my head what the physical sprinkler requirements were with pressure and flow and K factor there. Specifically today, we're proposing the use of the density and design area application.
Okay. And are you going to use in-rack sprinklers though?
No. We do not exceed, or we do not go up to or exceed 6 barrels high, which is the trigger for in-rack sprinklers.
And can you tell me how would the product be moved within the building? Are they using hand or power lift vehicles?
Both. Both.
And for the record, could you please confirm that the electrical system is going to be designed as a Class 1 Division 2 intrinsically safe system?
Yes, it is.
And will the mechanical equipment or the electrical equipment being used to move the product around will also be Class 1 Division 2 intrinsically safe?
Yes.
And is the building going to have a drainage or containment system?
The building is already built.
But I thought in chapter 40, it required either a drainage or containment system. So are you proposing, I thought I heard you say you're going to propose to do it in accordance with chapter 40.
I'll let you answer that.
I'm going to take over. This is Brad Humberstone, BH Architecture. The intent is to comply with Chapter 40. It is a slab on grade. I mean, containment, I mean, if we're thinking as it is a hazardous, like, chemical mixing plant, it is not what this is intended to do. If a barrel ruptures, it's a 53 gallons of product. It's going to sit on the floor. It'll get cleaned up. It'll evaporate. It's a very small quantity. This building is in the middle of surrounded by nothing. I mean, you know, we're not intending on this to be a mass. I mean, I guess there's ways to contain it. We don't have a specific containment system, and the answer to drainage is no. It's a slab on grade with no drains.
Okay.
Simply answer your question.
All right. Thank you. And so I mean, the concern, I hear what you're saying, and again, I understand it's not a chemical facility, but it is combustible liquids, and combustible liquids you can have pool fires with combustible liquids. So that would be our concern. So I think that's all the questions I have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, Cosmic. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Cosmic Reed again with the city of Rochester. Just for the record, that, we've already issued a conditional C of O for this building, limited in the square footage or the area that it could use as an S1. Just for the record that this is a building that's already that's built and is being used.
This is Craig Jensen. I've got a couple of questions. In your presentation, there's some information that says this single-story height building is 21 feet, 2 inches, and other information says it's 22 feet. I think you guys said 22 feet, so I guess it's 22 feet. Is that correct?
Roof slope, clear height in the Brad Humberstone, BH Architecture. Yeah, the eave height is 22 feet. The actual clear height underneath, when you take into account roof decking, is 21 and change.
Okay.
So
And then also in your presentation, you mentioned that new chapter 40 outlines the requirements for storage of distilled spirits and wines, including spill control, ventilation, sources of ignition, no other storage, signage, and other features. So are you proposing to comply with all of those additional criteria?
yes, that is the intent.
With the exception maybe that we talked about spill control, which you may or may not have, right?
Correct. And obviously the big caveat on that is the sprinkler requirements that are outlined in chapter 40. That's
So-
what we
So what is
would
the,
like to deviate.
so for example, what is the ventilation requirement?
Yeah, that is 1 CFM of airflow, and we have ventilation at the bottom of the facility. So alcohol naturally just sits on the ground, doesn't rise up. It's heavy, so we are sweeping the floor with 1 CFM.
And what is the signage requirement?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
what the signage require. I mean, they're signs. It's,
I assume it's signs that identify this as a
yes.
hazardous something, but I'm just
Um,
curious to know like how you're complying with these things or what they are.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if they say hazardous because it's not a hazardous material, the way that these are stored. So I wouldn't need to call it hazardous.
Yeah, I mean, they're asking for signage requirements. They must
Sure.
have something, right?
Right.
How about sources of ignition? What can you tell me about that?
Well, that's the electrical risk, things like the class 1 div 2 that we've already had assessed, and, there's no ignition sources. We've already
And the,
addressed and complied with that.
and the heating and cooling equipment, that's not,
Yeah, there's nothing in here. This is a building that has no insulation, no heating, no cooling. It is meant to get super hot in the summer. It's a black building.
oh, really? So the one,
Yeah.
okay, I
there-
was thinking this
there's-
was a cold storage building, but it's,
We're calling it cold storage because it's not heated,
But
it's
it's-
not cooled, there's no insulation. It's going to get 0 degrees in the winter and hopefully 100 and some odd in the summer. And that's what distilled spirits really like to bring out their flavor. So
Okay.
there's nothing to this. There's no,
no, I
there's
appreciate
no
the
heat. Yep,
clarification.
yep.
I didn't understand that there was,
Understood.
okay. Okay, and then the 0.3, this is not my area of expertise by any means, but the 0.3 gallons per minute sprinkler system that you're proposing, which is based on these criteria that you outlined, is there a different flow rate that would be in the code? Or how did you, does this in any way conflict with the requirements of the current code?
So the current code just has a higher design density. Tyler Tamblin with Rand Fire Protection. The code as it outlines just has a higher, I think it's 0.4 was the original design criteria. And we just wanted to bring that down to something that's more appropriate just for our storage height, because what's outlined in chapter 40 of the code
Would cover a higher height.
all the way up to 40 feet and 33-foot storage, which we just don't have. And that design criteria is specifically developed based on storage height and ceiling height. Those are the
And they don't have,
inputs for the testing.
and they don't have a provision for reductions based on the reduced height or volume.
Not in that specific code section, but the building code does allow you to use alternative design methods or performance-based design approach. So that, like the analogy would be, you don't need a foundation for a high-rise building if it's only a 2-story building.
I understand. Okay, thank you.
This is Mark Kevin. I'm just going to follow up on that question, please. Did Rand do any modeling then to demonstrate the 0.3 is sufficient to handle this size fire loading?
No, we have not done any modeling. We're using the data points from the nationally recognized entities that have done testing and using those data points.
Okay, so you have data, there's data points out there that indicate 0.3 over 4,000 square foot would be sufficient for the storage heights you're proposing.
Correct. The Distilled Spirits Council, the United States, and AXA XL, which is an entity comparable to FM Global. They do the same thing.
Great, thank you.
Oh, you might as well stay back up there. Rick Pappage. Speaking to the sprinkler system, for one, you mentioned that there's no heating in there, not knowing sprinkler systems, knowing maybe water lines a little bit better. What is the provisions for freeze?
It is a dry pipe system.
And secondly, is the system in place now?
Yes, it is.
So would the system have been, if this was originally thought to be an S1 building, was the original system designed because of that thought and installed in that way?
What I am proposing?
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Can you repeat that for him too?
Yeah, the question was if the fire protection is in place now, the sprinkler system is in place now, and was it installed because the building was a S1 building? Is it designed for an S1?
Brad Humberstone, BH Architecture. So to clarify the question you asked previously, there is a sprinkler system in there today that is satisfactory of an S1 storage, or an H3 for the allotted size, maximum allowable area. If we get this variance to be acknowledged as an S1 accurately with the provisions in Chapter 40, then we intend to modify the system to meet that criteria. So there is an operable system in place today, which is satisfactory of how the building is currently set up today. And the intentions are that however today goes and this process goes, we intend to meet the performance criteria that Tyler's laying out from Discus and AXA XL, but that's going to require modification of the existing system. That's clear.
Yeah, yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions on this petition?
Yeah, this is Andy Ellis from the board. I have a question about the racking system that the barrels will be stored in. Is that going to be permanently mounted to the floor, or is that something that can be expanded upon? And I guess my concern is, is there a tippage factor of the barrels if they're not secure? Are these double rack systems going to be inside a rack that are attached to the floor, and then more product can be brought in and stuffed in there?
Good question, Andy. Everything's movable. Nothing is permanently affixed to the floor. A rack goes on the floor. It's a 2-barrel
Yeah.
rack. It's not stainless. It's a steel powder coated rack. Barrels sit on top of it, and then another rack goes on top of that, kind of like a cradling system. Up to 5 barrels high is all we're proposing, all we're able to do.
So I guess my next question is there any restrictions on how close they can be together? Are they just gonna be slid in like pallets of product just packed in the building?
Yep, so the sprinkler categories are broken up into single row, double row, and multi-row.
Okay.
Multi-row is what we're intending to do and what the sprinkler system is, what Tyler's describing is what it's
Okay.
being designed to. And these are essentially just pack it in.
Okay,
They are keeping these barrels in there, they're aging. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not getting touched.
Yep.
They're sitting in there and aging for a while.
Yep.
And then they rotate them out.
thank you.
Okay, any more questions? All
I'm
right,
good.
thank you. That will do it for the presentation and for this petition. We will now go into deliberations. So if you don't mind, please clear the room. Thank you. And we may stop recording. All right, thank you for your time, guys. And the board has a few questions, comments to maybe make before we move forward. Mark, would you like to?
Sure. So in our deliberations, we discussed, your presentation. And one of the things that wasn't clear to us was that we're going to follow all the requirements of Chapter 40 of the 2024 International Fire Code. So we just want to verify that you're in agreement to follow all the requirements of Chapter 40 of the 2024 International Fire Code, and which includes the particular item that we're concerned about is the spill control system.
Brad Humberstone, BH Architecture. Yes, with the exception of the sprinkler,
The NREC sprinklers.
the sprinkler clarification, modification, yes.
Do you have, as an example, do you have lightning protection on the building?
Yes, the building is grounded and yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the big one for us was the ventilation, which we made sure that we hit, so.
Okay. Everybody ready? Move forward. All right. Okay, back to the nature of the grievance and relief sought. The petition pertains to the construction of a distilled spirits storage building, hazardous occupancy H3, or class 1, 2, or 3A flammable or combustible liquids that are used or stored in normally closed containers or systems pressurized at 15 pounds per square inch gauge, 103.4 kilopascals or less. The building is classified as type 2B construction, non-combustible, unprotected, single story or 21 feet and 2 inches in height, containing 30,200 square feet in total gross area, equipped throughout with an automatic sprinkler system known as the McGuire Cold Storage Building that is located at 1525 Lyle Avenue, City of Rochester, County of Monroe, State of New York. The petitioner is seeking relief from 19 New York CRR Part 1221, the Building Code of New York State, Section 307.5, which lists the nature and use of buildings designated as an H3 occupancy classification. The petitioner requests relief from Section 307.5 for the building designated for bulk storage of beverages over 16% in alcohol content in normally closed containers. Findings of fact. The subject of this petition pertains to the construction of a distilled spirits building, hazardous occupancy H3, class 1, 2, or 3A flammable or combustible liquids that are used or stored in normally closed containers or systems pressurized at 15 pounds per square inch gauge, 103.4 kilopascals or less. The building is classified as type 2B construction, non-combustible, unprotected, single story that measures 300 feet wide, 100 feet long, and 21 feet and 2 inches in height, equipped throughout with an automatic sprinkler system. Number 2, the petitioner indicates that the building will be used as a storage facility for combustible distilled spirits in wooden barrels. Number 3, the distilled spirit storage building will exceed the area limitations permitted by Table 506.2 of the 2020 Building Code of New York State for H3 occupancies. Number 4, the petitioner requests relief from the area limitations permitted by Table 506.2 of the 2020 New York State Building Code for H3 occupancies for the following reasons. A, the 2024 IBC allows for storage buildings used exclusively for storage of distilled spirits to have an occupancy classification of S1. B, single-story S1 buildings equipped throughout with an automatic sprinkler system installed in accordance with Section 903.3.1.1 of the 2020 Building Code of New York State are allowed to have a maximum area of 70,000 square feet. C, the 2021 IFC added Chapter 40 that includes provisions specifically for the storage of distilled spirits and wines. D, storage of barrels that will be no more than 5 barrels high. Number 5, the City of Rochester's code enforcement official has been contacted in this manner and does not object to the granting of the variance under Title 19 New York CRR Part 1205. The following criteria would be appropriate. Strict compliance with the code would entail practical difficulties, unnecessary hardship, or would otherwise be unwarranted because such would be unnecessary in light of alternatives which a loss of level of safety without a loss of level of safety achieve the intended objectives of the code. The Board of Review finds and determines that the issuance of the variance petition 2024-0004 will not have a significant environmental impact and will not have a significant adverse effect on any significant fish or wildlife habitat, scenic resource, or statewide significance, important agricultural land or area included in an approved local waterfront revitalization program. The Department of State is authorized to sign and deliver on behalf of the Board of Review and the Department of State, the Department of Environmental Quality Review Act short environmental assessment form, indicating that no or a small impact may occur in response to each question in Part 2 of the form and determining in Part 3 of that form the proposed action does not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. Determination. Wherefore, it is determined that the application for a variance from 19 New York CRR Part 2021, Section 307.5 be and is hereby proposed to be granted with the following conditions. Number 1, that the building will be used only for the storage of combustible distilled spirits and wines in wooden barrels. Number 2, that this building will comply with Chapter 40 of the 2024 IFC, except for the provisions for sprinkler protection within the barrel racks in accordance with Table 4005.2.3.6 and figures 4005.2.3.6 parenthesis 1 and 4005.2.3.6 parenthesis 2 of the 2024 IFC. Number 3, that all conditions, enhancements, and equipment offered by the petitioner be installed as described in accordance with the applicable generally acceptable reference standards. Number 4, that all other aspects of this building construction will be in compliance with applicable codes, rules, and regulations. That concludes the conditions. May I have a motion?
John Limbeck, so moved.
I'll second. Craig Jensen, second.
Okay, and I will poll the board for a vote. John Limbeck,
Aye.
Mark Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Craig Jensen,
Aye.
Andy Ellis,
Aye.
and Rick Pappage is an aye. This decision is limited to the specific building and application before it as contained within the petition and should not be interpreted to give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application. The hearing is now concluded. You may go off the record. Stop report. Okay, this hearing is in the matter of petition number 2024-0054. The petitioner is, and forgive me on this one, I'm not sure I'm going to get this quite right, Yogeshwar Kashwar.
Close enough.
Thank you. All right. The nature of the grievance and relief sought. The petition pertains to an existing building containing an R2 occupancy, 3 stories in height of type 5B wood frame unprotected construction located at 826 Bridge Street, City of Schenectady, County of Schenectady, State of New York. Relief is requested from Chapter 61-B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 30, cellar ceilings, which states that in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling of the cellar or the lowest story, if there is no cellar, shall be fire retarded or be equipped with a sprinkler system unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. The petitioner requests relief from the requirements that a fire retarding ceiling or sprinkler be provided in the cellar of the dwelling. Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 31, inside cellar stairs, which states that every stair leading from the cellar to the floor above in all multiple dwellings shall be enclosed with fire retarded partitions and shall be equipped with a fire retarded self-closing door located as the department may approve. Okay, is there a presentation that we'll have for this petition?
No.
Okay, are there any questions?
Yes, my question is, my name is Yogeshwar Makeshwar, 55 Wiley Street, Schenectady, New York, 12307. And my question is, on the first floor, going down to the cellar, I can't get a door there, but can I put one down in the cellar coming out, a fire rated door? That's the only place I could really get a fire door there. It's on the picture where it says all gas line and ceiling.
Furnace room steel door. So. So. Picture.
This is Mark Kavanaugh. I'm trying to find the right exhibit. So is it the
Same
one,
here.
is it the one that says basement written on the wall?
Correct.
Okay. So you can put a door there, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
This is John Limbeck. So that door would be at the bottom of the cellar stairs?
Correct.
Thank you. Again, this is John Limbeck. Are all the doors to the apartments self-closing doors?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And you installed alarms and stuff. They're all, connected.
Yeah, this is Mark Kavanaugh, and I guess the question I have is your fire alarm system interconnected with the basement and all of the units above?
Yes, they are. The stairway was not, but I had that get done.
Thank you.
This is Andy Ellis from the board. I noticed in one of the exhibits that there are 3 smoke alarms in the basement. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, that's the first, second, third floor. And one is more to your left where the light is. That's for the basement.
This is Andy from the board. Do the tenants have access to the basement?
No.
Is there laundry or
No.
anything? So each unit has their own separate fire alarm, and the building has a separate fire alarm?
Correct.
And they're all interconnected.
How many units are in the building?
3.
Right, one on each floor?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is Mark Kavanaugh again. Just for the record, I think it's important that you at least give us a description of your building, the height of the building, the number of stories, and then what you have in it from a fire protection standpoint. So again, it's for the record and it helps us. We're asking you a lot of questions that we normally get presented, so to help alleviate some of that. Could you do that for us?
Yes. So,
Give them a description of the building.
well, the building is a 3-story building. 3 floors, all rented out. No one have access to the basement. Downstairs, there is where the furnace is. There is a concrete box there with a fire door that furnace is into, and it's sealed. Everything is sealed up, as you can see at the one where it says steel door. you can see the box where it says smoke,
And carbon.
smoke and carbon monoxide. That's the box right there.
That's it. Mhm.
Should have been received.
No, I don't have it.
And then I have what is it? Ductwork. It's sealed. That's a sealing of the that box room right there, where the furnace is.
Okay, I thank you for that. Again, it just gives us a baseline of where we're at.
Right.
So thank you. And then as a follow-up question, you have carbon monoxide detectors in each unit and in the basements
Correct.
And the hallway.
And the hallways.
and the hallways. Okay, great, thank you. And the challenge you have with the ceiling is there's multiple penetrations that you couldn't be able to install a hard ceiling there?
Correct.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have, Chairman.
This is Craig Jensen from the board. Do you by any chance have any floor plans of this building?
No, I don't.
That would be helpful for me. Does it have a single stair that is common for all the residential units? So you go up a single staircase that's enclosed and access each unit off of the stairway, or how do you get to the upper floors?
Through the front, and then I have the back stairway come down.
So
There's two stairs, one in the front, one in the back.
That's a single stair.
This is Mark Kavanaugh on a follow-up question. All 3 stories have those 2 stairs, is that correct?
Correct. Correct. We also have emergency lighting, all that stuff there.
This is John Limbeck. I have no questions. Thank you.
Okay, are there any further questions?
I'm good.
No.
No.
Mr. Chairman, are you going to go to any other participants, and hopefully the city's online? Are they in favor or opposed to? I don't know if I saw a questionnaire.
Yes, thank you, Mark, and thank you, Dan, here in the room. Yes, is there anyone out there with any questions for the petitioner?
We do have the code enforcement official here.
Hello, this is Bert Taylor from City of Schenectady Code Enforcement.
Or do you have any comments you'd like to make on this petition?
No, not really. Not really. I just, like I said, as long as you guys agree with everything, and you guys are satisfied with what you give him his certificate or his information that he needs to comply, so that I can continue to do the finish up the rental inspections and give him his certificates. When I did all the units prior to this, everything was in and working properly. It was just that I had to fail it because of the 3-story MRL. And that's the only thing I really have. But everything else everything was in and working at the time of my last inspection. So if you guys grant him whatever variance you do, and you let me know if I'm able to issue his rental certificates, I could go back and do another inspection on that, and then turn around and issue his rental certificates if that's possible.
Okay, thank you, Bert.
Thank you.
Any others to speak on this petition? Okay, then we'll we'll take this into deliberation and take the hearing offline, please. Thank you. All right, we're set to go here. All right, the nature of the grievance and the relief sought for petition number 2024-0054. This petition pertains to an existing building containing an R-2 occupancy, 3 stories in height, of type 5B wood frame unprotected construction located at 826 Bridge Street, City of Canandaigua, County of Schenectady, or City of Schenectady, County of Schenectady, State of New York. Relief is requested from Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 30, cellar ceilings, which states that in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling of the cellar or the lowest story, if there is no cellar, shall be fire retarded or be equipped with a sprinkler system, unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. The petitioner requests relief from the requirement that a fire retarded ceiling or sprinkler system be provided in the cellar of the dwelling. Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 31, inside cellar stairs, which states that every stair leading from the cellar to the floor above in all old multiple dwellings shall be enclosed with fire retarded partitions and shall be equipped with a fire retarded self-closing door located as the department may approve. The petitioner requests relief to not provide a fire-rated partition in the cellar stairs. Findings of fact. 1, the building that is subject to this petition is properly classified under Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residency Law, Article 1, Section 433, as a multiple dwelling. Number 2, the subject building is approximately 2,334 square feet in gross area, containing 3 dwelling units, and was originally constructed in 1921. Number 3, the subject building is required to conform with the provisions of Article 3 of the Multiple Residence Law as provided in Section 25, in that it existed on July 1st, 1952, or was converted to a multiple dwelling after July 1st, 1952, and is not a hotel or similar dwelling subject to Article 4 of the Municipal Residency Law. Number 4, the subject building is required to conform with the provisions of Article 3 of the Multiple Residency Law as provided in Section 25, in that it is existed on July 1st, 1952, or was converted to a multiple dwelling after July 1st, 1952, and that it is not a hotel or similar dwelling subject to Article 4 of the Multiple Residency Law. Duplicate there. Number 5, Article 3, Section 30 of the Multiple Residency Law requires in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling of the cellar or of the lowest floor of story, if there is no cellar, shall be fire retarded or equipped with a sprinkler system unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. Number 6, the lowest story cellar ceiling of this multiple family dwelling is not enclosed with fire retardant material and does not contain a sprinkler system. A fire in the cellar could easily spread throughout the building before it is noticed. There is a mechanical system piping and electrical wiring along the ceiling of this unoccupied cellar, which would make installing a fire retardant ceiling very difficult. Number 7, As an alternative to compliance with Article 3, Section 30 of the Multiple Residence Law, the applicant has installed a hardwired or wireless interconnected smoke and carbon monoxide detection alarm system interconnected from the basement to each unit individually and would provide early warning in the event of a fire-related emergency. Number 8, Multiple Residency Law, Article 3, Section 31 requires that stairs leading from a cellar to the floor above be enclosed with fire-retarded partitions and equipped with a fire-retarded self-closing door. The stairway that leads to the basement is not enclosed in fire-rated construction. Number 9, the door into the basement is not fire-rated or self-closing. Number 10, the code enforcement official for the city of Schenectady was present during the hearing and verbalized his support for the variance. Conclusion of law. The proposed variance will not substantially adversely affect the law's provision for health, safety, and security. Strict compliance would entail practical difficulties, unnecessary hardship, or would otherwise be unwarranted because such would be unnecessary in light of alternatives without a loss of level of safety, achieve the intended objective of the law. Motion for the negative declaration for the short EAF for the Board of Review. Number 1, the Board of Review find and determine that the issuance of a variance in petition 2024-0054 will not have a significant environmental impact and will not have a significant adverse effect on any significant fish or wildlife habitat, scenic resource of statewide significance, important agricultural land, or area included in an approved local waterfront revitalization program. And number 2, that the Department of State be authorized to sign and deliver on behalf of the Board of Review and the Department of State, A, the State Environmental Quality Review Act short environmental assessment form indicating that, quote, no or small impact may occur, unquote, in response to each question in Part 2 of the form and determining in Part 3 of the form that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. Determination. Wherefore, it is determined that the application for a variance from Chapter 61-B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Sections 30 and 31, be and is hereby granted with the following conditions. Number 1, that the interconnected, hardwired, or wireless smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are provided and located throughout the building as required by current code. Number 2, that the property owner shall hire a third-party independent code-certified inspection agency to test the alarm system annually at a minimum and shall submit inspection results to the City of Canandaigua Building Department. Inspection reports shall also be left on site and be readily available for inspection. Number 3, that all the alarms shall be interconnected together in conformance with NFPA 72, and that the 3 detector in the basement be combined into 1. Number 4, that any entrance door and every door opening into an entrance hall, stair hall, or other public hall connected there within shall be self-closing. And number 5, confirm the furnace room door is fire rated and self-closing, and that the to be installed stair door will be the same. Furthermore, this decision is limited to the building and application before it and is as contained within this petition and should not be interpreted or give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application. May I get a?
Point of clarification, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yes, sir.
For determination number 2, could you please strike City of Canandaigua and replace it with City of Schenectady?
Why am I in Canandaigua? I have no idea. Really, I want to go boating or something. Yes. I'll read number 2 again, that the property owner shall hire a third-party independent code-certified inspection agency to test the alarm system annually at a minimum and shall submit inspection results to the City of Schenectady Building Department. Those inspection reports shall be left on site and be readily available for inspection. Thank you. Okay, may I have a motion to approve?
Craig Jensen, I will move to approve the motion.
Do I have a second?
Andy Ellis, I'll second.
Okay, I will now poll the board. To my left, John Limbeck.
Aye.
To my right, Craig Jensen.
Aye.
Andy Ellis.
Aye.
Mark Kavanaugh.
Aye.
And I am Rick Pappage, and I vote aye. That concludes our hearing. And we are now off the record. I'd like to. Okay, well, we are now going to do our third and final hearing of the day. This is a hearing in the matter of petition number 2024-0075. The petitioner is BG Team LLC. The nature of the grievance and relief sought. The petition pertains to an existing building containing an R2 occupancy, 3 stories in height, of type 5B wood frame unprotected construction located at 1066 Glenwood Boulevard, City of Schenectady, County of Schenectady, State of New York. Relief is requested from Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 30, Cellar Ceilings, which states that in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling of the cellar or of the lowest story in there being there have no cellar shall be fire retarded or be equipped with a sprinkler system unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. The petitioner requests relief from the requirement that a fire retarded ceiling or sprinkler system be provided in the cellar of this dwelling. Chapter 61-B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 31, Inside Cellar Stairs, which states that every stair leading from the cellar to the floor above in all old multiple dwellings shall be enclosed with fire retarded partitions and shall be equipped with a fire retarded self-closing door located as the department may approve. The petitioner requests relief to not provide a fire rated partition in the cellar stairs. At this time, I'll open this up to the petitioner to explain the petition in as much detail as necessary. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Nikolai Ignatov. I'm a member of BG Team LLC. My legal address is 15 Johnson Road, Latham, New York, zip code 12110. So I'm here to present my things for 1066 Glenwood Boulevard, Schenectady, New York, 12308. So the building is 3-story high. It includes 4 apartments. On the first floor, I have 2 apartments. One is 1 bedroom, one is 2 bedrooms. On the second floor, I got 1 4-bedroom apartment. And the third floor is 1 attic apartment with 2 bedrooms. So all this apartment has interconnected wireless voice voice over alarms there in the occupied side of the entrance door on each apartment, one in the basement and two in the common areas and the common stairwells. Okay, the basement. The basement has boiler room. The building is with common heat and hot water. So two units, one is the heating system and the other is the water heating. They're both in this enclosed boiler room, fire proofed. It has a metal door, self-closing. There is another safety feature. It's a self-closing window on the boiler room. In case of fire, this window closes by itself to prevent spread of the fire. Also, there is a metal self-closing door leading to the basement in the bottom of the stairs to the basement. Then the stairs, there is a sheetrock on both sides on the stairs. And on the top of the stairs, there is another door, which is the original door. It's not fireproof, but it's another additional door. So I got two doors leading to the basement. One is fireproof, metal door, self-closing, and the other is the regular door, which in case of fire will help to prevent spread of fire. Also, we have metal fire escape on the back of the building, which in case of fire, provide the tenants with a second means of egress. One of the apartment on the first floor back has own entrance, so it's not on the common area. So I request variance for this building because installing the sheetrock on the basement with all these piping and electrical cables will be very hard to do and will not significantly improve the situation in the basement. So I am open for questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board?
Nikolai, this is Andy from the board.
Andy?
How you doing? Are there any, is there access for the tenants in the basement for storage or laundry or anything?
Yes, sir. There is a laundry in the basement.
Okay. In the drywall going down into the basement and the stairwell, you're not sure whether that's fire rock or just regular drywall?
It's a 5/8 sheetrock.
It is, okay.
Yes, sir.
This is Andy from the board again. Can you describe so there's a main entry door into the house that leads to a set of stairs for all the units, and how many, can you just go over how many units are on each floor?
Yes, sir. So the main entrance in the front of the building leads to 3 of the apartments. The 4th apartment is on the first floor on the back of the building.
Okay,
So these stairs are common for 3 of the apartments, one of each floor.
okay.
You good, Andy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, this is Mark Kavanaugh from the board. The question I have is, on the, it looks like you have drywall from the first floor down to the basement we talked about, which was 5/8 inch.
Yes, sir.
So, my question is, why can't you install a fire rated door on the first floor? It looks like there's a solid, or it looks like there's a wood door there now with no closure. But I'm wondering why we can't put a rated door there.
Yes, sir. So I already have one door in the bottom of the stairs, which is self-closing, fire-rated door.
So that is a fire rated door. The one that, if I'm looking at the correct picture, it's on, let's see,
So
of your
the door that
pictures,
you
1, 2,
asked-
page 3. That one door doesn't look like it has any hardware on it, but just looks like it's got the spring closure on it. And it looks like a bunch of sheet metal with screws going through it. Am I looking at the right door, or is that the wrong door?
Yes, that's the right door, sir.
Okay. And that, it also looks like it's not a rectangle shape. It looks like it's a unique
No,
passage door.
it's rectangular shape. My phone uses wide angle, and sometimes it's distorted.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it
It's
tapers down at the
distorted.
bottom.
No, no, no.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that's a sheet metal door. You said that was rated, or it's just a sheet metal door?
So I bought the building like this, and it seems like I have this door and also another door like this. And I also have doors like this in different buildings that I own. They all are like this. I think at some point that was the way to be fire rated, to be fireproofed, I'm sorry. And that's what I have.
Okay.
So you're right, you're correct for this, that it's not fire rated. It seems like it's not manufactured and fire rated. It looks like it was improved to be fireproofed.
Yep. Okay, so then
You're
that
correct.
leads me back to my original question on the challenge that you would face by putting a rated door on the first floor.
I don't have a challenge.
Okay.
I can install a fire rated door on the first floor, in addition to the unrated metal door on the bottom of the stairs. That's
Okay,
that's
thank
no
you.
problem.
Yep. I think that for now is all the questions I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Craig Jensen, no questions.
Okay.
John Limbeck, no questions.
Okay, can I hear from the city on this? Are they on the line?
It seems like Bert is not on the line.
Okay.
So, what I can say about the inspections. So on November 29th, we passed inspection with Section 8. And then on January, I forgot the right date. I don't see it here. Anyway, so there was an inspection from the city. Everything was up to code except this matter that we are here about. You can, of course, confirm with them. That was the only problem, the variance.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, I do recognize that the code enforcement official variance questionnaire has the city in support of the variance.
Okay, thank
Thank you, Mark. Okay, is there anybody else that has any questions? All right, then, we'll go off the record and into deliberation. Thank you. All righty. Okay, this will be a decision for petition number 2024-0075. The nature of the grievance and relief sought. The petition pertains to the existing building containing an R 2, occupancy 3 stories in height of type 5B wood frame unprotected construction located at 1066 Glenwood Boulevard, City of Schenectady, County of Schenectady, State of New York. Relief is requested from Chapter 61-B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 30, cellar ceilings, which states that in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling of the cellar or of the lowest story, if there is no cellar, shall be fire retarded or be equipped with a sprinkler system unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. The petitioner requests relief from the requirement that a fire retarded ceiling or sprinkler system be provided in the cellar of the dwelling. Also, Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Law of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 31, inside cellar stairs, which states that every stair leading from the cellar to the floor above in old multiple dwellings shall be enclosed with fire retarded partitions and shall be equipped with a fire retarded self-closing door located as the department may approve. Findings of fact. Number 1, the building that is subject of this petition is properly classified under Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 1, Section 433, as a multiple dwelling. Number 2, the subject building is approximately 4935 square feet in gross area, contains 4 dwelling units, and was originally constructed in 1920. Number 3, the subject building is required to conform with the provisions of Article 3 of the Multiple Residence Law as provided in Section 25 in that it existed on July 1st, 1952, or was converted to a multiple dwelling after July 1st, 1952, and is not a hotel or similar dwelling subject to Article 4 of the Multiple Residence Law. Number 4, the subject building is required to conform with the provisions of Article 3 of the Multiple Residency Law as provided in Section 25, in that it existed on July 1st, 1952, or was converted to a multiple dwelling after July 1st, 1952, and is not a hotel or similar dwelling subject to Article 4 of the Multiple Residence Law. Number 5, Article 3, Section 30 of the Multiple Residence Law requires in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling of the cellar or the lowest story, if there is no cellar, shall be fire retarded or be equipped with a sprinkler system, unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. Number 6, the lowest story, cellar, ceiling of this multiple family dwelling is not enclosed with fire retardant material and does not contain a sprinkler system. A fire in the cellar could easily spread throughout the building before it is noticed. There is mechanical system piping and electrical wiring along the ceiling of this unoccupied cellar, which would make installing a fire retardant ceiling very difficult. Number 7, as an alternative to compliance with Article 3, Section 30 of the Multiple Residence Law, the applicant has installed a wireless interconnected smoke and carbon monoxide detection alarm system interconnected from the basement to each unit individually and would provide early warning in the event of a fire-related emergency. Number 8, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 31 requires that stairs leading from a cellar to the floor above be enclosed with a fire-retarded partition and equipped with a fire-retarded self-closing door. The stairway that leads to the basement is not enclosed in fire-rated construction. The door leading into the basement is not fire-rated and self-closing. The entrance that leads to the basement is enclosed and self-closing. Fire-rated door is at the basement level. Number 10, the code enforcement official for the city of Schenectady was not present during the hearing, but has provided his support for the variance. Conclusions of law. The proposed variance will not substantially adversely affect the law's provision for health, safety, and security. Strict compliance would entail practical difficulties, unnecessary hardship, or would otherwise be unwarranted because such would be unnecessary in light of alternatives, which without a loss in level of safety would achieve the intended objective of the law. Motion for negative declaration for short EAF for the Board of Review. Under seeker. Number 1, the Board of Review find that and determine that the issuance of a variance in petition 2024-0075 will not have a significant environmental impact and will not have a significant adverse effect on any significant fish or wildlife habitat, scenic resource, or statewide significance important in agricultural land or area included in an approved local waterfront revitalization program. And number 2, that the Department of State be authorized to sign and deliver on behalf of the Board of Review and the Department of State, A, the State Environmental Quality Review Act short environmental assessment form indicating that, quote, no or small impact may occur, unquote, in response to each question in Part 2 of the form and determining in Part 3 of the form that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts.
Mr. Chairman, John Limbeck, before you go to the determination, if we could go back to the findings of fact, I'd like to note that number 9, the second sentence states that the entrance that leads to the basement is enclosed and the self-closing fire-rated door is at the basement level. We've determined that that door at the basement, the bottom of the basement is not fire-rated.
Thank you. I will read number 9 again. The door leading into the basement is not, the entrance that leads into the, yes, I'm sorry. The door leading into the basement is not fire rated and self-closing. The entrance that leads to the basement is also enclosed and self-closing, but not fire rated at that basement level. Thank you. Okay, determination. Wherefore, it is determined that the application for a variance from Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Sections 30 and 31, B, and is hereby granted with the following conditions. 1, that the wireless interconnected smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are provided and located throughout the building as required by current code. 2, that the property owner shall hire a third-party independent code certified inspection agency to test the alarm system annually at a minimum and shall submit inspection results to the City of Schenectady Building Department, and that inspection reports shall also be left on site and be readily available for inspection. Number 3, that all the alarms shall be interconnected together in accordance with NFPA 72. Number 4, that any entrance door and every door opening into an entrance hall, stairway, stair hall, or other public hall connected therewithin shall be self-closing. Number 5, provide a self-closing fire-rated door at the top of the stairs leading to the basement. Furthermore, this decision is limited to the specific building and application before it as contained within the petition and should not be interpreted to give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application? May I have a motion?
Motion so moved by Mark Kavanaugh.
May I have a second?
Craig Jensen, seconds.
And may I pull the board? To my left, I have John Limbeck.
Aye.
To my right, Craig Jensen.
Aye.
I have Mark Kavanaugh,
Aye.
and I have Mr. Andy Ellis.
Aye.
And I am Rick Pappage, and I vote aye. Let the record show we have 5 ayes and 0 nays. And this concludes our hearing. We are now off the record. Thank you.